Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in again. We are here back in the 2023 Frontier Pro-4x, and I'm going to show you a little bit of the climate control stuff. I've noticed a couple people talking about how the air conditioning doesn't really get cold, and I found a little hack that I seem to find works better than just turning on the AC alone, and it seems to work. So we're a little bit warmer today. It's nice and cool in here right now. I have a couple little kids that sit in the back here because a lot of people said the back, there's no vents back there, and they were talking about how the front does not cool off the back enough and it just gets too warm. But my two little complainers that like to sit back there have told me that they're nice and cool. It's good enough, not hot, not sweating to death back there. So it's also nice and sunny, like I said, and there's a black leather interior in here, so even if it's not super hot outside, anybody with a black interior, especially with a darker painted car, you know how quickly it can warm up even on a cooler sunny day. So I'm going to show you exactly how it works and what I do to cool the truck off as best as I can. Alright, so right now if you look, it's showing 24 degrees on the dash. That's Celsius. It's not stupid hot, but it's warm. So of course it's going to heat up in here, especially if you're parked like we are right now. You can see the sun is beating directly into the truck. So what I have done is, this is your climate control setup basically. You got your on-off, fan speeds, mode, your air conditioning, you got dual climate control, and then your auto. This is the secret to getting a cold air conditioning. You can see we're set to 18 degrees right now. That is as low as this truck will go. That is the lowest setting in the Frontier. You can see we can go up, and as cool as it goes, it's going to be trying to get it to 18 degrees Celsius. Right now, because I have the dual climate control on, it's going to do separately. So say your passenger wants to be a little warmer, you can see, crank it up to 22 on that side. This side stays 18. As soon as you turn that back off, because the driver's side is the main one, you can see it's set back to 18 throughout the truck. Here you have your recirculation, so that's just recirculating the air in the truck. Because it's cooler, it's trying to get to that 18 degrees. So I had the air conditioning on before I started this video, so it's cooler in here, but I turned it off to film. So that is recirculating because it's cooler than the temp outside. Now say we wanted to have outside air, maybe you don't want to recirculate your air, you can hear maybe it changes just a bit. Now that's pulling air from the outside, but being that it's 24 degrees outside, that's going to be sucking in air that's warmer than 18 clearly. So what people are doing is they're turning on the air conditioning. So now the air conditioning is going to try to cool it to the 18 degrees or below. But you can see it's still set to outside. So if you put it to recirculate, now I find even if you crank this all the way up, you can hear the fan obviously starts blasting. Now I find that it just takes forever to cool down, and it doesn't seem to get as cold as if you use the auto feature. I don't know why, but if you put this to auto, now say we have this set to blow on our feet and defrost the window. I don't know why you would be defrosting your window with the air conditioning, but just say that's our setting. It's not cooling down. You can see the fan's on low, not really working. If you hit auto, now you can see what it's doing. Obviously you can hear the fan pick up. It put it to blow just out of the top vents here. It puts your fan to full. So what it's doing is it's recirculating the air now with the air conditioning, and automatically the truck's going to do whatever it's got to do to drop the temperature to 18 degrees. Now if you see, because we're on auto, say I want it at 25 degrees, which is warmer than outside. Now you can see, because it's now heating instead of cooling, because it's 24 outside, we want 25 inside, it's going to start warming up. The fan slows down because it doesn't have to work so hard to cool it. It's now trying to warm it, and it just kicks on. So if we put it back down, the cooler we go, So you can see we're probably right around the 20-22 degree in the truck right now, because I put it to 22. It's not at the max fan, but it did bump up the speed. So again, we go to 23, drops it, 24, drops it, 25, and so on. But what I found now is you crank this back down to 18. Again, it'll crank all the way up as far as it's got to go. As soon as you hit anything, the auto mode turns off. So we'll just put it back down just to keep the wind noise down. We're trying to film. But in my case, I found if I just have the air conditioning going like this, it's all set up the same. Even if I was to crank it all the way up to max, like the auto feature did, for some reason, now I don't know if this is just me or if it's actually a thing, it does not blow as hard or as cold as if you're using the auto feature. So if you got somebody in the back and they're complaining that it's too hot, again, it's only going to blow out the top 4 vents here. Nothing blows down by your feet. This is all for your side defrost and all that. That's nothing to do with anything. It only blows out of these 4 vents. So what I do when my kids are in here, I just point this kind of up and straight, so it just goes up and down the back, and you put it on auto, let it blast for a bit, it'll start cooling down. And I find usually within about maybe 3-4 minutes of driving with it on the auto feature, it gets cool enough that this starts to drop down, and then usually it sits around 2 or 3. So it is blowing, you can hear it. It obviously is blowing harder than setting 1, but it doesn't make you deaf, and it's not going crazy like if you were on the top speed here. But it usually drops down, like I said, around 2 or 3 notches on the gauge there, and it cools it down quite well. I've never been in here sweating. I've never thought, oh my gosh, the air conditioning sucks, it can't keep up. None of that. It's always cooled the truck down. And again, when I'm at work and the truck is parked out like it is right now, cooking in the sun all day, you hop in here, hit the auto button, just make sure, obviously this is all the way as low as it'll go, let the truck do its thing, and like I said, within 3-4 minutes you're comfortable driving. Still a little bit warm, but it's comfortable. Give it another 3 or 4 minutes and this thing is just as cool as you'll ever need it to be. Now it is only 24 degrees. I know a lot of places in the world are way warmer than I am up in Canada here, but for us, 24 is a lot. This is our go to the beach, walk around, shorts, t-shirt weather. We'll get 30, 35 for a few days here and there throughout the summer, but for the most part, usually between say 22 and 30 is our hot summer days. So like I said, nothing too crazy, but sitting in a truck with all the black interior like you see here, no matter where you're living, if it's sunny, it's gonna warm up. It's just how it works. And like I said, for some reason, if you hit auto, you let it do its thing, it's going to cool it off a lot better than if you were to just manually do it. Whether that's actually true or not, I don't know, but having driven around this truck in the last couple of weeks in the heat, I find that in my case it seems to work awesome. And like I said, if you don't want the big fan noise, you just leave it for a couple of minutes and it starts to drop. Same thing as when I cranked it up, just in the opposite direction. As the interior temp of your truck drops, so does the fan speed. And as soon as maybe you stop somewhere and or the temperature outside is getting way hotter, it'll do the opposite. If it starts to warm up, maybe you pick up a bunch of people, you got the extra body heat in here, again, the fan will go up, it'll start to cool down the truck, and away you go again. So there you go guys, just a quick little tip. It works for me. Like I said, maybe it's just in my head, but I find using the auto feature and letting the truck control what it's doing for the temperature in here seems to work a lot better than trying to manually do it yourself. Again, I don't know if that's actually a thing or if it's just in my head, but like I said, when I jump in here after work and she's scorching hot, I hit that auto button, and by the time I'm out of the driveway, it's already starting to cool down. And by the time I'm hitting the highway to come home, it's only maybe 5-6 minutes at max. It's cooled down and it's a comfortable ride all the way home. You're not sweating to death. You don't have to have the windows rolled all the way down. nothing like that. Just turn it on, let it do its thing, and you should have no issues. So let me know if this helps you out. Go test it out in your truck. If you happen to have this Frontier as well, go give her a test. Let me know if it's just me, or if that happens to work the same in your truck, then I know I'm not a crazy man. And if you've made it this far in the video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe. Hopefully we catch you in the next one, and thanks for watching this one.